Here's boobs. Do you want these? No.
Who's gonna say no to that?
I know a couple people.
Spoilers.
Kerner is not one of
Don't
them.
look. Spoilers. I just wanted to pull this up in case I have any questions.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but we'll do this instead first. All right, 1 second. Let me send this to the Fox, and then we'll be ready.
One large.
3 hours later. I have a lot to say.
About Andor?
Mm-hmm.
I'm riddled with enthusiasm. Are you recording?
I am. Not on here. I actually left my SD cards at a different location. So we're taking a live feed right now.
It's not good. It's not good.
So however it sounds on here is how it's going to sound.
It's been 84 years.
It's been 84 years since I recorded things properly. So how about, no, you're 1, I'm 2. Let's do that. How about that? Check 1. Give me some language.
Language is the word of the people.
How about that?
Language.
That sounds way better.
That sounds a lot better.
Okay. All right. At least we're in agreement on that one. We listened to so much BTM, I now have to pee again. But I'm going to wait.
Well, their songs are about 12 minutes each.
But we just listened to the breakdowns.
It's groovy.
No. All right.
No.
Here we go. It's time to begin. That didn't count.
False test alarm.
Wait, no, it's going to hinge.
Do you have it turned on?
That's what I was just checking. It is. Oh, I know my oxygen.
It ain't got no gas in it.
When we're in person, we have to do this one.
Okay, kids, let's go.
Has been an awakening.
This one gives me more prep time. It's
Have
longer.
you felt it?
Hold your units.
Hello, what have we
A little
here?
blown out there.
You guys are so funny.
Hello.
Ow,
Holy shit. You ain't C3 penis face and R2 dickhead.
Hello there.
He's so annoyed that there's a droid in his farm.
Such a twerp.
He's a twat.
May the force be with us. Fucking A.
Good day, Galaxy. It's official. Star Wars sucks.
Star Wars is the worst thing I have ever seen.
It's up there. It's up there.
Depending on who you ask.
Oh, hi, Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I think depending on who you ask. It might be the worst thing I've ever seen.
I do think there is a line in the sand that if you are not a nerd, Star Wars is really hard to watch. I feel like there's a hump you have to get over to enjoy Star Wars.
Okay.
It's a weird thing.
I think that used to not be the case. Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like there's more of a idea around, like, you have to be a huge nerd to like Star Wars. Like, if you're like a teenage girl and you've never watched anything nerdy, would you sit and watch the Star Wars films and enjoy it? I don't know.
See, I feel like Star Wars used to be the one nerdy thing that was like everyone
Universal.
in the world has heard of it. Like,
Yeah.
it's a guaranteed, like, Star Wars is like one of the best, you know? I feel like that used to be the case. Nowadays, like modern, like Gen Z, I feel like that's Marvel. Like, everyone knows Marvel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone knows Thanos and the Avengers, that's for sure. I'm
no
off,
longer-
I'm off the camera.
It's no longer universally loved. I don't know.
Now you're off the camera. No, man, I feel like maybe you're wrong. Maybe you're wrong.
That it is universally loved?
I think so.
By who?
I think there's problems now.
Even
and
the fans hate it.
We'll get into this because I want to talk about Cassian.
Cassian Andor.
Because that's obviously the main thing we're going to talk about because we missed you guys last week, blah, blah, blah. Witch Hunter, what's up? I think Star Wars was so universally loved that now the problem is everyone is expecting it to be the most universal best thing, and it hasn't been, and everyone's pissed about that.
No.
That's what I feel. The standards are so high.
We're not going to dig into it, but it hasn't kept up with current films.
What?
Until now.
Until now. But look how long we've waited.
3 years. Not that bad.
No. Episode 3 came out when? That's how long we've waited.
Dude, 7, 8, Rogue, Solo were great. Get out of here.
Yeah, you're right.
We've only been waiting since 2018. Relax.
No,
And even Skywalker.
we don't need to get into it. Everybody knows. But
I hate Star Wars. is what
when
I'm
you're
trying to say.
comparing, which you have to do, we talked so long about Dave Mustaine and we talked about LeBron James and comparing him, and it's hard to do.
Yeah.
But it happens, regardless of when, where, why. You've got to be like, well, okay, you created this yesterday. What else came out recently that we can compare it to? That's what it's going to happen. Or like in the Metallica sense, we're going to compare it to your other stuff, which is basically untouchable, and you can't beat it. So it's a lose-lose for Star Wars. But I tell you what, we're turning a fucking new page in this digital catalog that I'm rock hard for.
See, I feel like we're usually the opposite, though. I feel like it's usually like old heads that are like, you're never going to beat Empire. I'm going to watch it because I like Star Wars, but you're never going to beat Empire, and you're kind of going in with that mindset. But I don't think I don't think we feel that way.
No, I don't. You can easily beat Empire.
I am even going to give everyone the benefit of the doubt because I know you're going to have some misses every once in a while. You're going to swing, 3 times a year, you're going to miss. And that's cool, but I feel like we were getting to the point where it was like mediocre after mediocre, and we were kind of like, well, guys, what are we doing? Not only is it mediocre, but you canceled all the movies. So, like, now what are we doing?
See, that's the poor taste in our mouth. Like, regardless of what you have launched,
right?
50% of what you said you were going to launch, you nixed. So it's like,
right.
Well,
this is what we've been talking about the past 3 months. But now Cassian Andor came out, so we can talk about that
Cassian
instead.
Andor. And then I am all caught up on House of the Dragon. Now, just a heads up for everybody
Why don't we
listening.
do Dragon first, I guess?
We can do Dragon first. I have watched only the first 3 episodes of Andor. So that's as far as we're going to be able to talk today. But I am all full caught up with House of the Dragon, with the time jump, the recent time jump.
Yeah, man.
I think I'm all caught up. That was the last episode. The big time jump with the actresses changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what happened.
We can start there.
We tease the Cassian stuff for the end. Cassian Andor.
Man, I tell you what.
I have a lot of thoughts about both of these shows.
Yeah. It's I'm just going to start it off by comparing the two. They're very different. They're very different feels.
Well, see, I was going to say Andor feels the most like a Game of Thrones that Star Wars has ever felt.
I understand what you're saying. Yes, I
like,
agree.
It's not mature, obviously, but it's felt the most.
It is mature.
It's not. I mean, it's not like a TVMA rating, is what I mean.
Oh yeah.
There's no tits and blood and death.
No, but the drama.
Well, there's death, but that's not what I meant. There's no like decapitation. I guess is what I was trying to say.
People get murdered.
Murder happens.
Murder happens.
Decapitation's not so much.
It's that
dead babies, not so much.
But it's the tension, it's the drama, it's the suspense, which is awkwardly what Star Wars has been missing, which is so weird. They've had the fan service, they've had the action, they've even had the characters that we want. We've seen Obi-Wan and Vader face off, and it's like, why is it still missing something?
And that's part of the problem, which I will talk about later when we talk about Andor.
Okay, good. No, I both series have been fucking phenomenal so far. So
stupendous.
But yeah, House of the Dragon.
Miraculous.
So the recent episode we jumped, what was it, 10 years?
It was, I don't know specifically.
I thought it was about 10 years.
I would say like 12 maybe.
Okay. I
Because
thought she said 10 years.
She might have.
But whatever.
It's hard to tell. Medieval times, you see a kid and you kind of think, like, based on modern day, he's probably like 15, but he's actually like 11.
Yeah.
So I was trying to base it off of how young I thought young Aegon was. But he could easily be 10. I mean, in Game of Thrones, like, girls get married off and like have babies at like 13, which is kind of fucked up. So I have no idea. So it might be 10 years.
Yeah. So I mean, the glaring thing is, how did you feel about the actress change? The 2 actresses.
So Alicent, I felt like was
Fucking
spot on,
spot.
and I didn't even notice.
I audibly said, "Why did they use the same actress for her?" And
Oh, like you thought it was her?
And I was looking, I was like,
It
I
was
thought they were
really
supposed to
close.
change. Yeah, I was like, oh. And then I really started paying attention. I was like, oh, I can tell, but my God, are they close?
They were really close, yeah.
And then
Rhaenyra was like the actions and the mannerisms I feel are there, but the problem is, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all, but the younger actress had a more like pronounced face.
Oh no, she had very specific features that is like, she had a sharp face, and I agree. It's nothing
Like,
negative.
not a
It's,
bad thing.
She was just a very unique looking woman, and it was like that's hard to
Exactly.
to copy. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's like one of those things. Like, do you do that? All right, we got to cast her. She's a fucking savage. She's gonna kill the first 4 or 5 episodes.
Oh yeah, you have to.
And then when we try to age her, but like, is it that hard to age someone?
I mean, we saw
Look
for
at
a scene, for a cameo, probably not, but like for
the king.
6
My
episodes.
God, he looks like the fucking house handler in Scary Movie 2. You know, with the fucked up hand. I'm like, what happened to him?
Yes, he does.
He's
man.
sticking his hand in turkeys.
That's what the throne does to you, man.
That's what the throne.
It ages the fuck out of
First
you
of all,
real quick.
I can't believe he's still alive. The very first episode, we're like, oh, he's got this plague thing killing him. And then
Yeah.
we're like 20 years later, and they're like, oh, yeah, he just looks old. He lost some hair. And you're like, wait,
He's getting cut up by the throne, dude, for real.
he's just sitting on knives. That's what the fuck.
Everyone's dying except for him. How the fuck is he still?
That'll up your ass. What if he's into some... Dude, that's
Some,
what that's
black magicry.
That's exactly where I'd love to see Game of Thrones go, where someone's trying to extend their life. Ooh, now we're
Like
getting into
Voldemort.
No, like who is it? Palpatine. He's back.
Damn it!
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Somehow King Viserys is still alive.
Still has partial face features. No, I blacked out the rest of the episode. I don't know. I don't know what happened. As soon as I saw the actresses, I was like, "Wait, whoa!" And then I was like, gone.
It was good, man. It was mostly good. This is the first episode. This is like maybe only my only complaint so far about the season. This episode felt rushed, and that's the first time I felt that. And I think with time jumps and stuff and new actresses, like I'm just gonna have to forgive it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, one feeling in the course of the whole 10 episode season, I think is not a big deal. But it's the first time I felt that way.
When you do the time jump, especially in something like Game of Thrones, you are automatically trying to put the puzzle pieces together, and you're like, okay, whoa. Kids, who's the father now? Where are the alliances, the allegiances? Like, who's where?
Yeah.
And then you're trying to throw that all into like 45. Well, they are an hour long. An hour, and you're like, okay. Let me try to get back on track here.
Yeah.
And then, you know, some shit happens. Man, what a way to end the episode before. First of all, I don't think we've talked about the wedding.
Oh, yeah, because we missed you guys last week. Yeah.
I took an edible beforehand, and I was giggling like a school child at how slow and how long and how much dancing was in that fucking episode. I was looking over at my wife like, are they still fucking dancing? We're 33 minutes in, and they're just shaking ass. And
That's how they do it back
but
in the day, man.
I literally was like, nothing's happening, and then a bunch of shit happened, and I was like, whoa. I was still laughing at the fucking...
I had to rewind
hand
it.
movements.
I watched that second half of the wedding scene like 3 times. I had to rewind to catch what was going on.
I will admit, now, you said if the most recent one felt rushed. I thought the pacing on the one before felt really, really weird. Like, I didn't know when... Sometimes you can, like, zone out for a minute, and you know, like, okay, this is some downtime.
Not in this show.
No, well, not in this show. I do still think in this show, like, something bad will happen, and you'll see like a picture of Sky, and you're like, okay, I can take a breath. They're probably gonna go into a new.
I can
area.
reach down for a new bite of my dinner for a second and not miss anything.
Wheat thins, they're shoved in.
Yeah. Get this cheese that's going.
But for some reason, the wedding episode, the pacing was so off, and maybe it was the gummy I took. I don't know.
Probably was.
But I kept looking up like, dude, I thought 4 minutes ago we were watching dancing, and I'm still watching fucking dancing, and nothing's happened. First of all,
some fist fighting, some dancing.
well, that finally we got there, but man, I tell you what, they did set up the scene where Allison,
the queen.
yeah, Allison walked in, and you're like, ah! Yeah,
That was fucking awesome.
My gosh, she finally became a queen. She walked in and was like, oh, tatas,
Green, dude.
Green.
Fucking green, bro.
Well, also, isn't Catelyn Stark? She's always wearing green. I thought.
Yeah, but she's not the fucking queen, though. I think it's different.
She's the Queen of the North.
No, Sansa's queen of the north.
No, she's not. Catelyn Stark is the Queen of the North.
No, not queen. Not back then. They didn't. It wasn't queen of the north. It was just
well, okay, yeah, the Lord of the North.
lady protector
Lady
of
Stark.
The,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck.
Lady Protector.
But yeah, I feel like you're supposed
The Lady
to.
Protector that just protects the bits.
I feel like there's.
What?
I feel like there's many moments where Cersei, even though she was married to Robert, was still wearing like Lannister colors. But I think when it's something formal like a wedding, you're supposed to be like, what's the ruling house? You're supposed to match that.
And
So it was like a statement that she was wearing Hightower colors.
And I do love how they got into it because when they married Rhaenyra over to what's the Valerians, like they had to have that conversation. Like this is a good idea. It strengthens both of us, but like whose name goes forward.
Right.
And I love the compromise that, okay, they'll be born Valerian, but once they take this seat, they become Targaryen. I was like, what a badass way to put them in their place, but also give them a little bit.
Right, give them a little bit of the stick. Don't give him the stick.
But then that also, like, so you're saying only one of them eventually becomes Targaryen. The rest of them, the brothers who are second in line, third in line, fourth in line, or whoever, they're all still going to remain
No, I feel like
Valerians.
if one of them becomes king or queen and they take the Targaryen name, then all of their children would take the name.
They're,
after that.
I know, but siblings, because there's what,
Right,
three
right,
brothers.
right.
So if only one of them becomes king, their other two are still Valerians.
Yes.
So, no, it's been great.
So what do you think of Kristen Cole and his little outburst at the wedding?
I didn't quite understand it.
I had to watch it 3 times.
So there is like they tried to.
Because the way they cut it is like they leave with Daemon and Rhaenyra are talking, and it's almost like they're getting that sexual tension again.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's like commotion and you can't see what's going on, and Kristen's beating the fuck out of this person. So like for a second I thought maybe Daemon started to do something weird and the guards were rushing in.
Yeah.
I just felt it kind of just popped in at the wrong moment. Or
Well,
maybe he saw Daemon and got jealous again and just fucking outraged.
No. So what happened was the two gay guys have their secret,
Right.
and then what's the bodyguard?
Rhaenyra and Kristen Cole.
Rhaenyra and Kristen Cole have their secret,
Right.
and they
Homeboy came up and just told him outright.
and said, "Hey,
He's like,
yeah, we know your secret."
we're gay as fuck. You're fucking a whore, basically. It's cool, man. We'll just keep each other's
And then
secrets.
he couldn't handle
Pinky
it. Yeah.
finger.
Yeah, and he's like, "Don't fucking boom! There goes your
swear.
face."
Right.
And you're like, Jesus. First of all, how brutal was that? I mean, not quite red wedding, but Jesus, that was brutal, man.
There's always got to be tragedy at a wedding.
That's the thing. Just don't get married, guys.
I think that is the lesson that we're learning from this. Don't have a baby either.
Yeah.
Because that kind of gets fucked up too.
Whoa.
Having a little PTSD to episode 1 and 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kristen, he's a little bitch.
Yeah, he is. Man, I do not like him.
No, he turned like what a fucking. You still get to be a guard. You get to bang the queen, the hottest girl in the realm, and then
Yeah.
you don't have to deal with anything else.
You literally, yeah.
Like whip out your sword and whip out your other sword, and that's all you have to do. Like that's such a fucking. And she'll take care of you, get some cash, maybe get some promotions and shit. Like,
Dude,
that's a legit setup.
The only negative is once you start having kids and they all pop out with brown hair, they're gonna be like, whose are these?
Right.
And then now your head's on a stick because they're like,
Well, only if someone rats you out.
well, someone's gonna.
Maybe.
And that's what the gay couple tried to do. They're like, we know your secret,
Right.
and he's like, no, you don't.
Smash. I smashed your face
Hulk
in.
smash.
Hulk smash your face.
Yeah, I think the most recent episode with the time jump, I agree. I'll say this: the last 2 episodes have been kind of off. Not bad. They've been really good actually, but just weird. Something weird. I think the time jump kind of messed with me a little bit. The actors change kind of messed with me, which is not uncalled for. We knew that was going to happen. It was going to be a small hump for us to get over. But I am admittedly still getting over that. And I think just like you said, Rhaenyra, the initial actress, played it so well, and she was the most polarizing character in front of us. And then they're like, "Yep, nope, here's her replacement." You're like, "Damn it!"
Well, like I said, she's still. In my mind, she's still acting properly.
I mean, regardless,
It's just the look.
yeah.
Just not as distinctive a look. It's fine. Whatever. It's all
But
good.
it does matter. because in my eyes, like Targaryens
Just
have
gotta get used to it for a second.
Targaryens have, outside of Viserys, they all have a very piercing look. Like Rhaenyra, Daemon, they all have this like look.
Daenerys.
Yeah, they
Jon
all have this
Snow.
look.
Yeah.
And now, for someone or whatever reason, I feel like the actress has a less of a Targaryen look. I'll get over it, guys.
You will
It's
get over it.
the smallest issue. So
You will get over it.
I won't.
I love Rhaenyra.
What was I pissed off about? Yeah, yeah. What else? So she's leaving the realm. She's
No,
like,
they just went to Dragonstone. She was like, "Fuck this shit, dude. I'm going to my beach house. This is bullshit."
But they weren't in King's Landing anymore. They were down in the Sea Snakes area.
No, they were in King's Landing. They were in the Red Keep that whole time. She decided to go to Dragonstone. She's like, "Fuck this, dude. Send me letters if you want to screw with me."
Yeah.
Which I support. I get it.
Well,
She's just biding the time. I spoiled myself again, by the way. I looked at the family tree or whatever in the Fire and Blood book, and I saw another spoiler. I'm pissed. I'm pissed about it. I know it's
Right.
gonna happen.
yeah, you're really dumb.
It was an accident. I was trying to. I just wanted to see the names of all their kids because I couldn't catch them all.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, whoops! I just saw who was next in line." So
Well, don't.
I won't say.
Don't
anything.
research.
I won't. It was Cassian Andor. No, I won't say anything. No, they just went to Dragonstone. No, she's cool, man. And she gave homeboy his training knight lover. She's like, bring him to. Fuck it.
Whoa. But the queen had him murdered.
Who?
The
No. Her husband's gay lover, who's like his knight trainer or whatever. You know, he was sword fighting with. Sword fighting. She was like, bring him along, dude. I don't give a fuck anymore.
No. Who are the two guys that blew up?
Yes. This is what I
That's
wanted
what
to
I'm
talk
talking
about.
about.
This is the main thing I want to talk about. Sir Harwin Strong is his name.
That's the father of her children.
Yeah, they were banging.
So
And his dad is the Hand of the King. Was the Hand of the King. Lionel Strong. And then the crippled dude with the cane is his brother.
crippled dude with a cane is a very, very well, he's easy to hate. He's the one that he's like our first villain.
I love him, dude.
He's yeah.
That's
He's
why
insane.
I love. That's like the pinnacle. That's like the main. If you could sum up why I love Game of Thrones,
you love to
it's-
hate.
It's his turn at the end of this episode. That's what I love about Game of Thrones. It's not just like a bunch of sword fights and banging. It's like when you have someone like that's playing the game,
Pulling the strings.
screwing over the queen. He's kind of lying in the shadows until all of a sudden he spots his move and he jumps in and he takes power. That's what I fucking love about the series.
Yeah. Well, and it's
And
like
the books and
he
yeah,
uses people like against themselves. Like he's like basically like, Queen, you essentially told me to do all this.
right.
In not so many words. So
Right.
this is for you.
Now he's got some leverage.
This is for you. And she's like, I never said fucking kill, murder, death. What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, you kind of
He
did.
most certainly did say kill, murder, death.
You whispered it.
No, Laris Strong, he's a sleeper, dude.
Also, holy shit, actor. This
He
actor is
incredible,
100% believable. The way he looks, the way he acts, the way he, like,
He's awesome.
yeah, the hunch, the cane, the look, like he's it, man. Man, look at that. Just the with him at bottom left.
Here?
Yeah. Man, he's just staring through you, like deciding when you're gonna die.
Dude.
Ugh.
He's a savage. Took me a second to recognize who this was because he had a different haircut.
I still don't know who the fuck that is.
It's the dude that barged through the crowd at the wedding and like picked Rhaenyra up and got her out of the shit. But he had a totally different haircut. So she must have been like, man, you picked me up at the wedding, dude.
Yeah,
Super hot.
slip it in. What?
No, that was crazy, dude. So he was like, I don't know if he's greedy for personal gain or what his actual motivations are. We probably won't until the end of the season, but he killed his dad and his brother.
He killed his own dad and brother.
Yeah.
But because they were meddling almost. And I think he wants to align himself with the queen.
Well, he already
wants-
is. Yeah.
And forcibly.
Well, she
it's-
already was. I mean, the queen went so far as to. That's the cool thing too. Is like, Alicent went far enough to confide in him, And he was like, I didn't really ask for that, and now I'm going to use it. I'm using this information for power, for real. So they're aligned, whether they like it or not.
It cements his stance with her.
Yeah.
And gets rid of
the problems. But it's hard to tell because he could pull this weird, like, for the honor of my house, my brother was banging the queen and had bastard children and, like, he had to go. But he could also be like, I just want to be in power. I don't care. Fuck him.
Man, I feel like Rhaenyra's getting the short end of the stick. No pun intended.
Absolutely screwed.
But she was so aligned to just take the fuck over. And maybe that's part of it. It's not even the actress change. It's like we jumped 10 years and now she's just like a whining mother that has no power.
On purpose, because like she is, I think, well suited to lead, but she has to wait until her dad dies. So either she plots to kill her dad or she just sits there and waits.
It's a weird thing, like, because I feel like Cersei played it well, where she was almost queen first and then mother second.
Basically had Robert killed, though.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, she played the part of queen first.
Yeah.
Even though she says this is all for my children. Every single one of your children either got sailed away or killed, so, like, it isn't about that.
No, they all died.
They all died.
Yeah. Because she spent too much time trying to be a queen.
Which is probably why she, gripped onto the title more and more, because she's like...
Well, yeah, all my kids are dead. What the fuck else do I have?
Right.
Might as well subject people to my control.
Might as well bang my brother. No, Game of Thrones, man, it not only puppet masters the characters involved, it puppet masters us. Well, as we watch, we're like, oh, we think that. Nope.
I'm missing one thing so far.
Oh, dude. Damon's wife's death.
Well, first of all, her dragon. They roll up flying around in a Pentos, or whatever the fuck they were.
Cadillac of dragons. She's flying around, heated seats.
Fucking a that's a Jesus.
She's driving around on a fucking.
It's like a sandcrawler.
Charizard
with wings. Thing was huge, man. It had like roots growing out of it.
And I did see a little snippet of like it's one of the oldest dragons in all the realms. So
what's her name again?
Smokehouse.
House of the Dragon. How do I search for that house?
Damon's wife. Search Damon's wife.
Okay. Sorry. House of the Dragon. Damon's wife. Because I can't remember her freaking name, dude.
Well,
no, not her.
Not the one that he had killed.
Lena Valerian.
Lena.
I'll pull this up on screen in a second. Lena Valerian.
Dragon name.
Dragon. All right. Bonk.
That actress fits so well with the younger version of her.
Oh, yeah.
She looks exactly
the time jumps there have been great. Yeah. Vagar, dude. Holy shit, bro. So Vagar is her dragon. And it's like the biggest dragon basically ever, forever. Whoa, dude.
Is that supposed to be the skull?
It might be. That's Cersei. I don't know. I can't remember how much... once the season is over, I kind of want to go back and watch.
The snippet right here, the book, yeah.
Vagar. Lena. Spoilers!
Oh, does it pass down?
Spoiler!
Yeah, we don't want to look at that.
Damn it, Mopar. Anyways, yeah, there's not any good pictures of him from the show, which is a bummer, because he was...
What a way to go out, though.
Insane.
No, never mind. Yeah. She couldn't fucking give birth, so she's like, yeah, you know what? Cook me like a fucking Pop-Tart. Let's get this over with.
I mean, I'm either going to bleed out or I'm going to get this shit over with, I think.
I don't know which is worse.
They both suck.
Burning to death? Every cell in your body's just screaming.
Burning to death, but I don't know if it's as bad as like getting set on fire at like a steak, because I feel like the dragon fire is so hot.
Oh, it'll just melt you.
Instantly dead.
Yeah, it should.
You know? Let's test it out. We should test it out.
Yeah. I would just rather just get eaten. I'd rather become dragon poop.
Then fertilize the next dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dump me in the ocean.
I understand.
Literally dump.
Throw me in the trash. What do I care? Throw me in the trash. No, it was pretty savage. I was waiting for Damon to show up to King's Landing again, uninvited as usual. But
Well, he shows up to the wedding uninvited and pulls up a fucking chair on the side of the
yeah,
big
that's
living
like
table.
that's
and
4
you're
episodes in a row. He just like walks in. He's like, "Hey, you've been banished. Misa been banished." Just walks back in. Hi, I'm still here. I'm the king's brother. Can't really fuck around.
Yeah.
No, that was gnarly, dude. And then only other thing I wanted to bring up for this one was the kids.
Yeah.
All the kids are fucking bitches.
Yeah. I'm not with the kids yet. I really don't give a shit about any of them.
I mean, I don't dislike. Like, I think they're supposed to be like that.
Yeah, I don't.
They're a bunch of little whiny bitches.
Maybe that's the lack. So I feel like Rhaenyra has taken a step back, like out of the limelight per se, and it's supposed to be her kids taking a step forward, I assume, or Daemon or someone. And I feel like this episode, like so many people just took a step back. Daemon not only had his original wife killed, but his new wife is dead now. Rhaenyra, her bastards.
I think that's intentional.
I know, but it's just it's a weird like lull. I don't know who to focus on, and like you said, the children aren't there yet. They're just kind of like squabbling.
Well, they're
idiots.
like 10 years old.
And yes,
No, I'm just
the
saying.
children
Like,
are children. Yes.
yeah.
So I don't know where to focus my.
Yeah, it was definitely like a transition episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think they mentioned in like the behind the scenes afterwards that it's time for like the kids to become the main characters.
And that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
But it's like we're clearly not there. Like you said, it's a transition.
Clearly.
So I have this attention that I'm trying to give to certain characters, and it's like, well, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll fix itself in the
flinging
next
all over
episode.
the place.
So.
Yeah.
Also, like, where's the tension anymore? Everybody's dead.
All our kids are bastards.
The only tension that really truly remains is between Rhaenyra and Alicent. Like, they are at odds with each other and like are quickly becoming enemies, especially with what Stick Boy did.
What?
Cane Man.
Yes. I'm going to call him Stick Boy from now on.
Stick Boy.
Yeah, dude, he's might be my favorite character in this show.
Yeah, he's definitely a Littlefinger, but like even more so. Like Littlefinger kind of played in the shadows and did stuff, but this dude was like, nope, I think the queen told me to murder people, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I'm not going to ask her about it. I'm just going to murder them. Oh, by the way,
Just
those
in
people,
case.
those
Yeah,
that's
they
my
all
brother.
died. They're
That's
all
my
fucked.
brother and my dad, so don't worry about them.
They're all fucked around. Yeah, man.
Cassian Andor. Well, okay. Yeah, we're
I'm
kind
excited.
of in a lull with this. I haven't watched Lord of the Rings past the first episode, unfortunately, but yeah, first 3 episodes of Andor. Here we go.
Well,
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I won't spoil anything for episode 4, obviously, because you haven't seen it yet.
But things get going.
But
I'm
I
sure.
was super jazzed after the first 3, and then after watching episode 4 today,
One of the best things
I have
ever.
to say, like, this is one of the best shows I've ever seen. This is flat out, hands down, one of the best shows I've ever watched.
Yeah, and we'll tell you why, guys. Okay, let's start here because this. I said something out loud while watching Andor that surprised myself. Like
Yeah.
while I'm watching, and I think it was the most recent. Well, I'm sorry, it was episode 3, where the local police, the guy that's in charge, is kind of running with stuff, and he went out to get that other brigade of people to back him. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
With that Scottish guy or whatever the fuck.
Oh, yeah,
And
he's
they
a
were gonna
savage.
confront Andor. When they go to the ship wherever it is, and they light speed to the current planet, and then they're gonna go trap Cassian. That light speed, I was like, hey, there's a splash of Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And I said that out loud, and I was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
How fucking nice. Hey, Susie McQueen, Shinobi.
Shinobi, you
might-
haven't watched Andor at all?
You might not want to be
I
here
was
right
to
now.
say, I want you to hang out with us, but you better peace out.
Yeah. Spoilers for at least the first 3 episodes, so shout out.
However, I will say almost all of like the trailer footage and stuff has come from the first 4 episodes, so there's no major like, oh my god, Vader showed up. Like, there's nothing like that.
Well, but that's the nice thing.
Exactly.
It's-
Exactly.
It feels authentic to everyday life
Yeah.
on this planet.
Yeah.
We are very, very focused on Cassian and his endeavors, his fuck-ups, his stealings, his taking advantage of people, his owing money, his stressing relationships with the Bix and her husband, who we find out what the fuck happens.
Oh yeah. We definitely find that out.
But it's nice that we're walking through all this, and all of a sudden I just get a feel of what it's like to live on this planet, what it's like on a daily basis. We see the mining, we see the police, we see that fight for authority, even on a smaller scale. We haven't even got to the Imperials at all.
Right, and I'm fully immersed in that planet in just 3 episodes, as if I've been there.
But how perfect is that? That's what we've been asking for. What have I been screaming? Let's go to a planet and fucking make a movie.
And not Tatooine.
Yeah, and we finally are getting here. And not only that, but all the different terrains, they feel well thought out. Like there's a purpose to them, not just to show us a new place,
right,
but that it has. There's a word there. It has like a legitimate reason for being there. The styling of the city, the architecture, there's all a reason behind it in the universe. Not just to show us pizzazz and fucking put flashing lights and all this shit.
Look, Star Wars.
It feels more authentic. Like there's culture, there's history behind all these decisions.
Feels lived in.
It feels lived in, which we haven't been there.
I will say there were in one show's defense, there were some shots on Tatooine with Kenobi that did feel lived in. I'll give it that much. But
isn't it weird that
in large,
all the big stuff that happens is like on like a dirt mound in like you're like
right,
like when Vader throws Kenobi in the fire, you're just like, well, I know.
Well, even when they go for that like final showdown,
yeah,
it's just like, oh, he landed on this planet that's abandoned. I'm gonna go fight him. It's just a bunch of rocks.
Look, I'm not mad at it, but it is nice to walk into Andor and feel brand new. It feels fresh, even though it feels lived in.
Fucking brand new again.
It does, man.
Slow-mo, fast-mo. I'm glad you said that. About like you kind of forgot you were in the Star Wars universe for a second.
Man, and how refreshing is that? Because it's not throwing shit that we're familiar with and characters that have to show up and all this shit. Like it's finally,
right.
Hey guys, guess what? We're just starting here.
Well, that's why I relate it to Game of Thrones. That's why I feel it's similar to that.
No, I'm going to tell you right now what it fucking reminds me of.
Because Thrones, you forget almost that you're in like the fantasy world sometimes.
Yeah, you're just
like you're so immersed with the characters and like the drama, the family stuff, the power struggles, almost politics stuff. I started watching House of Cards again recently. I watched Succession. I finished that. I started watching House of Cards, and it's the same kind of thing. It's just like, well, Succession's is just like, you know, super high end business stuff. House of Cards is politics. Game of Thrones is fantasy, but it's the same type of thing, and I feel like that is the focus, and then everything else is the backdrop in the world, and it doesn't take away from it. And I feel like Andor is the first thing since maybe Solo that has made me feel that way in Star Wars.
Solo did a good job of expanding. Yeah, I mean,
Solo felt, you know, there was everything was aside. Everything that was like Star Wars focused was in support of the story.
Yes, and not fan service.
It wasn't, the story wasn't made around all of the fan service.
See, and that's the issue.
Yeah.
That we've had.
Because
a lot of episodes, they've been wrapped around the fan service that they want to show us, and it's like, no, just show us a good episode.
Yeah.
And then if you want to put fan service in there, I guess that's fine. This has gone the complete opposite direction. This is like,
right.
Look, we all know who Andor is, but let's dig into why he is.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been walking through in the first 3 episodes. A bit slow, but I like the slow burn.
Perfect. It could go slower, and I'd be totally okay with it.
Yeah, well, I will admit, like, at certain points, and that's the Star Wars fan. I mean, that's how they've fucking created us, where it's like, we need a familiar droid. We need laser blast going off everywhere. Someone needs to say Jedi in the background. Oh God. And you're like, no. Settle the fuck down.
Yep.
And let's just go off of, this is a struggling.
Yeah.
I don't even want to call it a smuggler. Like what is he? He's just like a lost.
He's just trying to fucking survive.
He's
dude.
a lost hope,
He's
bro.
a survivor.
He is a survivor.
I do hate playing the comparison game, but I think it's helpful to just make the point. But I do feel like Kenobi was made because we wanted to see Vader and Kenobi fight again.
Yeah, that's the only reason, yeah.
And everything was revolving around just that scene, which is 100% fan service.
Yeah. So that's the whole purpose of those, what was it, 6 episodes?
Yeah. So I do feel like that's the backbone of that show. I'm sorry if anyone disagrees. Now, we got some cool stuff. We got some character growth for Kenobi along the way. Cool with that. Young Leia was awesome. And the fight was cool, even though I complained about it a little bit.
Sure.
But it felt like everything was revolved around that. And this is the opposite. It's like half Cassian Andor as a character.
Get this, it's a story.
And half rebellion.
It's a story. It's not an event.
Yes.
You're right. Obi-Wan was about an event.
Yeah. It's like a big boxing match.
It is. And that's what it was, the build up to the event and then the aftermath of the event.
Yeah.
This is just this is Cassian's
and we know there's going to
story.
be multiple seasons and like there's plenty of time for this to roll out.
That's why I'm very happy and I'm okay with it being a slow burn. And I didn't mean that in a negative way.
I love that.
I watched the first episode and I was like, man, I don't think I saw a fucking single blaster go off outside of the initial where he kills the two. And that was more of like a, oh shit, not like, hey, this is Star Wars, just start shooting.
Right.
It felt like, oh God, like something bad happened. It was an accident that turned into, I need to cover myself because I'm in trouble already.
That's the fucking spark for everything. Oh, fuck, I said it.
No, now we're back to
That's
Star
the
Wars.
spark for literally his entire journey.
I love the back and forth with the like tribal-esque stuff from his childhood.
Yeah, his homeworld.
You know, the homeworld stuff, what is it?
Canary.
Canary. First of all,
What were you trying to say?
Toydarian. I love seeing the effects of the Empire without the Empire being there. So we go to see Canary, and even while he's like, it's like almost like an indigenous species that Cassian, like it's almost like the Lost Boys and Peter Pan. You're like walking around with sticks and stuff, and then like a person shows up with a speeder, and you're like, oh, what the fuck is that? Which is awesome. But like the one that really hit me was when they were on their way to that train crash or the ship crash or whatever the fuck it was, and he looks over the hill and there's that big mining pit, and I was like, God, that's what I need, because that plants so many seeds. Someone was there, exploited the fucking area, killed probably a bunch of people, and booked it.
Right.
And then these kids are left and like, well,
what the fuck happened to my home, dude?
Yeah, dude. I love it. I love it. They said so much with just showing us that mining pit without doing anything.
Exactly. I just wanted to check something real quick like here. Let's pull this up so motherfuckers can see it. I wanted to see the timeline just for a second.
Casa.
Yeah. When was he born, though? Doesn't say.
Canary, Homeworld, yeah. Canary.
Yeah, it doesn't say when, though. So there's a bit of a... So here is one of, like, the lore, world-building, fan service things. Is, like, there's a bit of mystery as to what that ship was and why it crash-landed on his planet.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I thought it was... Yeah, go ahead. I thought it was like a train at first, but I was corrected that it was flying at one point and then it crashed.
At the age of 9. And I don't know, it doesn't say when he was born. So, like, he said he's 9 in those flashbacks. So is that after Order 66 or before? We don't really know. Because when Homegirl shows up to, like, rescue him, she mentions Republic. But there's a CIS logo on the dude's uniform. And also, I don't know if we're in Empire times yet or not. So, like, it's kind of like, where is that all leading to?
At this point, you don't know. Maybe he was, you know, maybe he stole the fucking thing to be...
He said he was born on Canary prior to the start of the Clone Wars. So, yeah, it's possible, like, when he got picked up after that crash landing thing, that was, like, at the very end of the Clone Wars, or, like... Before Order? No, because then he would be like 3 years old. That makes sense.
Right there. When a transport Corsair transpo, but
of the Republic crashed near his village. Yeah, but why do they have a CIS insignia on the
thing? Was that a Republic mining facility?
Yeah, that was before the Empire.
Oh, that makes sense. Well, okay.
Transpo Corsair of the Republic. Transpo Corsair. What the fuck does that even mean?
That doesn't make sense.
But they did have CIS shit on their shit.
Yeah.
Cassian, Andor, CIS Republic.
It's a lot of words there.
Just get
CIS
all the
Republic.
good keywords in there. Of course, nothing that I wanted showed up at all. All right,
right.
whatever. So that's fine. We'll see you later.
They labeled the fur the stash. Tiny pistol.
Tiny pistola. Anyways, yeah. So that's like the only thing really in the first 3 episodes that was like a Easter egg mystery that I was trying to figure out as a Star Wars fan. And that wasn't even till after the fact. Everything else is like,
I'm glad I'm not sitting here waiting for
What's up,
Easter
Riley?
eggs.
What up, Riley? What up, Riley? I agree.
It's bullshit. I hate doing that.
I haven't even
I'm not trying
really
to
thought about him.
watch a fucking series of Where's Waldo. I don't give a shit where he is. Like, that's how it feels sometimes when I'm doing the fan service stuff. I'm just I'm waiting for the next thing that is familiar to me.
I understand.
But fuck the story. I just is that R4? You're like, I don't. Who cares?
Nah, yeah, I will say like Marvel slips into that sometimes. I think lately
Absolutely.
a lot.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man and No Way Home, I mean specifically, and Multiverse of Madness were like complete fan service movies.
Fan service, but also hard transition.
Correct.
So,
and even then, I feel like they
Sure.
did a pretty good job with it. But that I felt like was everyone wants to see Toby and Andrew Garfield, and let's fit it around there. And they did a great job, but that again felt like the kind of the motivation there.
but that was the exception.
Correct.
The rest of the stuff's been solid
Now,
at the worst.
But if we look at the full scope, though, it's really we're complaining about Kenobi, Boba, and Mando. It's really only 3 things. You know, that's all we've had, so it feels like a lot. But it's only 3
and
things.
it's not just 3 things. Do you know how many episodes are in all of those? See?
3.
See what I'm saying? So we've got, it's only 3 things, but it's 40 hours of just repeat fucking fan service. And you're like, come on, give me something.
I understand.
Whatever. But this, you know what this also makes me excited for is
Episode 4
Ahsoka.
and 5.
Ahsoka is we're on the fucking brink of that.
We'll see. So I want to bring something up.
That might be an issue though, because then we're gonna take a step back because
That is 100% fan service.
So familiar.
That is going to be everything Filoni has on his shelf is going to go into that show.
Damn.
So I was watching some Star Wars Explained review Easter egg stuff, and he mentioned that the creator of this show, Tony Gilroy, who worked on Rogue One, isn't a Star Wars fan.
Perfect.
Like he mentioned in an interview, like he didn't say I hate Star Wars.
For Andor.
For Andor, Tony Gilroy. He said, I'm not really a Star Wars fan. And it didn't hit me until I heard that. It's like, oh, that's what we need. Like,
Yeah.
if someone says, I've loved Star Wars since I was a kid, and I've always wanted to make a Star Wars movie, but no.
They already have it in
They
their
can
mind.
like they can work and they can consult on it, but like the showrunner needs to be someone who is going to tell a story at the expense of nothing.
Right. And the issue is, as a Star Wars fan, you're already thinking, oh, I can pull this from there and this from there and this from there, and we can use it in this way. And it's like, that sounds great, but no.
No, there's people at Lucasfilm whose job is to do that. And I feel like they bring the Andor storyline, and then the Lucasfilm lore people like fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we need like a planet here. Let's use this one because it'll tie into this. And that's like a nice throw in, but like that is not how the showrunner is approaching the storyline from the beginning, which I think is extremely important.
This show has been a fucking door wide open. Yeah. It feels so refreshing.
It's incredible.
And I know I see your parallels to Game of Thrones, but what I've been hardcore paralleling to is Mass Effect. The soundtrack of, I think, the second episode, I was having mad flashbacks of Mass Effect. It was just like, do-do-do-do, and you're like, what? Where's the ass cheeks? Like, give me some, do it.
Where's Miranda when you need her?
Just waiting for her ass.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I think it was the second episode. It was hardcore.
That's interesting.
Actually, now that I say that, another piece that I actually was really weirded out by was the very end of the third episode where they had drums come in, and I was like,
that was my favorite part.
What?
They were like ringing like the alarm, just hitting all that All that shit around town.
No. In the score, they had someone playing drums, and I was
the drum kit. Yes, I did notice that. That threw me off.
It threw me off, and it was weird because it was right at the end of the episode. So I was like, whoa.
That was weird.
This is a great episode, but what are you doing? Whoa.
I thought the same thing.
I'm not mad at it. I'm sure I'll get over it, but it was definitely very weird.
I'm over it.
I am over it. Let's stop talking about it. You can see the star rating. I'm actually surprised they're not higher.
Yeah, well, IMDb, I just had it up in case you wanted to look at it, but episodes 1 and 2 had a 7.4 rating. Episode 3 has an 8.7 rating.
Yeah, things get going. It's a slow burn, so I guess I can kind of understand. Like, it's a lot of talking, a lot of setup for the first 2.
Exactly the way it should be, dude.
Yeah. I loved Bix and her boyfriend and how that all played out.
Yep. I think I saw something that is incorrect, and I was just gonna check something really quick. Give me a second here. Not Bix. What's her boyfriend's name?
I have no idea. Rashi?
Nah. I don't know if it's super important.
Just search Bix boyfriend.
I don't care that much.
Okay. I thought he was a great expendable person that was trying to do the right thing and fucked everything up and got himself killed.
Yeah.
I like the tension there because I feel like Bix is trying to make a difference. Cassian's trying to just make his way and get out of his own trouble.
Yeah.
And then what's his face?
Tim.
Who?
Tim.
Who?
Tim.
The buyer. What's his name?
I thought you were talking about the boyfriend that died. What?
Why'd you just call him Tim?
That's his name.
I asked you earlier what his name was, and you said, I don't know. I'm over
No, I
it."
was looking for the actor. I wanted to know the actor's name.
Oh, my God. You're out of hand, out of control, outside of your mind. No, I just like how things are coming together. I love it. It's just like built-in tension that I didn't realize was there. Or just haven't seen on a planetary... I don't even know how to say that. On a day-to-day basis. It feels like we're right on the brink of something. And I mean that in like...
Well, yeah.
You can see the stress between the mining facility, the local police overstepping their shit, and then the people that are just like beat down, like Cassian, who are just trying to keep their head above water.
Yep.
And that stress is making shit happen. And in the 3rd episode, we finally see that kind of
explode,
unfold in front of us.
I think it's possible we don't even see that planet again. Like, I expect we'll see Bix, but I think it's possible that maybe we don't even see that planet anymore.
That's fine.
And
he said
I
he's going
think
to come. He's going to be back. But
that was enough, though, for me to... I felt so absorbed with those first 3 episodes that it's like... They made it work. Like, they did the job. Like, I got everything I needed out of it.
But everything was so authentic and believable.
Right,
like,
yeah.
his coworker that was kind of helping him out a little bit, but like, hey, you need to get your shit together, but, you know, I'll cover for you for this time.
But then once the police showed up, he was like, man, Cassian was right, dude. These guys are fucking assholes.
Yep. But I love that. Now we're looking at that character like, ooh.
Exactly.
Like, nothing needs to happen with that, but like, that's how the seeds are planted, just to build a rebellion. Like, he saw this shit go down, and it was like, you know what? Cassian might have had a point here, because this shit's fucked.
And I think that's what drilled it home for me was the end of episode 3. So they have the big blow up and like the shootout in the town, and Luthen and him escape, and they blow up the police, and the police totally fucking ruin that mission. And Homeboy is standing around in shock, like, never expected that to happen. He thought he was doing the right thing, and everyone just, like, he lost 4 of his guys or whatever. All that blows up, and then Cassian is escaping with Luthen. They're flying into the sunset. It's cutting back to all of the childhood stuff when he gets rescued.
Yeah.
And then it's also intercut with the people of the town looking around like, holy fuck, what just happened? Like, that is the spark of the rebellion in those people.
Yeah. But how
so
badass
beautiful.
was the ting, 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 ting,
When you
ting.
said drums, that's what I thought you were talking about. Yes, that was amazing.
But like, that's the...
For like 10 minutes.
That's the built-in, lived-in, planned, prepared culture stuff that's like...
Right. They didn't just reuse the Star Wars alarm because it's the Star Wars alarm.
Exactly. It's something local. It's something that's been prepped. It's something that has been discussed throughout the entire town. Maybe because they felt that tension with the local police or something. And they're like, look, we need to watch out for each other. Let's tink, tink, tink together and fuck
Set
with
up
them.
the tinks, dude.
But it also played out beautifully. All that tension, and you hear the tink, tink, tink. And then when it stops, you're like, oh, like hold on,
Something's going down,
dude. It just was beautiful, and
awesome.
I loved it, and I loved the badass woman that aided Cassian as a kid who he was living with.
Yeah, Aunt Petunia, dude.
She was fucking badass, and she stuck it to the man. Planted the seeds of terror with the tink tink tinks and was talking to
That's what a reckoning sounds like, she said.
dude. And then she said, it might bother you. She was along the lines of like, it might bother you now, but wait till it stops.
Right. It's even worse when it goes quiet.
And that not only adds anticipation to the fucking people in the house with her, but it adds anticipation to us. Like, oh God, what is she talking about?
Dude.
It felt like Wendy from Peter Pan. Like she was like talking about some shit that no one knows about.
Man, I haven't seen Peter Pan in a long time.
I watch Hook
Well, I
constantly.
know who Wendy is, but I don't
love
remember any of her lines or anything. I don't know last time I
Cassian's
saw
come a
Hook, man.
long,
Shit.
long fucking way.
Well, we're not even partway there yet. We're
Well,
not even a fraction of the way there yet.
And I love the back and forth. It almost feels like Godfather 2, where we're kind of going back and forth with Cassian's past and his current.
Right.
Even though I know it's father and son in Godfather 2. Because
Right.
they'll do Michael, and then they'll go back and parallel with his father. But it's nice to almost see that the same way with Cassian as his younger self. And
Yes,
like you said,
I can't tell you how glad I am that they didn't do like one episode was just all flashback.
yeah,
I'm so glad that it was intercut that way. It made it much, much better.
I'm glad a non-Star Wars fan has done this.
Yeah.
Because this is so
Well,
refreshing.
the intercutting gets even more, not with flashbacks or anything, but again, not a spoiler for episode 4, but there's a lot of intercutting between different settings, different characters. And it feels like we're in that, like, again, I'm just going to go back to Game of Thrones, but like you're jumping from Winterfell to King's Landing to Dorne to Castle Rock. Like, that's
Everything's-
kind of the mode that you get into.
yeah.
Oh, man, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And there's not anything that's happened yet that I felt like I have to explain by saying, oh, it's Star Wars.
Exactly.
Because it's Star Wars. Well, there's got to be Mantis people walking around in the backwards.
No Mantis people.
Because it's Star Wars. The droid has
Actually, there was a Mantis.
The
person.
droid has to play a fucking pivotal role in everything because it's Star Wars. No.
Yeah.
No, none of that.
I actually told Mrs. Commander, I was like, you got to watch this show. Like, you're going to love it. It's not even like a Star Wars show, really.
It isn't, but
Like,
it just happens.
She loves Thrones, so she'll love this.
Yeah. I think so.
That gets me hyped, man. That got me excited.
Yeah. I'm still excited, man. I'm excited to catch up on the most recent episode. I'm sure shit hits the fan even more because, we get off world
Watch it.
with Luthen.
Go watch it tonight. It's really good.
I'm excited, man. I'll repeat it, man. When I audibly said, "Oh, there's a splash of Star Wars," I was like,
How did I just?
my
say
mind
That?
exploded and imploded, and I was like,
Your mind went to hyperspace.
I'm watching a Star Wars show, and it's not Star Wars, but whoa.
Your mind did a hold maneuver. We should pull some hold maneuvers. Do some real damage.
How bad is that?
Compare this
Somehow Palpatine returned.
to what we're getting in Andor. Like
It's such a stark difference.
Spark,
Stark.
Dark,
Tony Stark.
Eddard Stark.
Wait, Eddard Stark.
Winter is
Whoa. Winter is coming, Tony. Stark. Eddard's great uncle son.
I can't wait for you to see episode 4. There's so
Yeah.
much I want to talk to you about.
Yeah. Anything else about goddamn the best show of all time?
It's sometimes hard to articulate because like usually we're sitting here saying everything that we don't like and why. And now we're all here saying everything is so good. I don't even know how to articulate it really. But yeah, no, it is. It's one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Is there stuff that you're like,
down.
I could have gone without that?
To be honest with you, that drum set popping into the musical score is the only thing that really felt weird to me. Everything else was like spot fucking on.
And that's such like a small, like doesn't fucking matter at all. It just felt,
But it was
Out of-
obvious.
yeah, it was out of place.
Yeah. But no, everything else was good, dude. The whole This is one thing that we haven't had much in Star Wars, at least in live action, is the whole corporate thing. Because remember, like the Zerka Corporation, everything from KOTOR, we haven't really seen like the company side of stuff in live action.
But we see the mining facility.
Yeah, so having them there was really cool, and their whole like company town and the brothels at the very beginning was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say not only the mining facility when he's older, but the mine, the pit, the quarry.
Yep.
So it's like we're living in this industrial planet.
Yeah.
And regardless of what age.
I think, that may be one thing that I do notice about this, which makes me like it, is I feel when you're in the Skywalker saga, it's always the most important people in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And Cassian is obviously going to become a very important person in the rebellion, but right now you're on the ground level with him and you're seeing the everyday, day-to-day life of people in the Star Wars universe.
I mean,
and the rebellion at the ground level, instead of always seeing it from like Mon Mothma and the council.
Top of the fucking mountain, yeah.
You're seeing it from the bottom up.
And I guess that was what the original poll for episode 4 was, because it was supposed to be just a farm boy. But guess who the farm boy is? Oh, the fucking chosen one's son who, oh my
Savior
God,
of the
Jedi,
galaxy.
and it just starts exploding.
Ben Kenobi and
which
everything.
I can get. I understand the poll of that, but
in the first movie, they go to the biggest battle station of the
Blow it
Empire
up.
and blow it up. Right.
dude, an hour and a half in,
Yeah.
we're all hunky dory.
I will actually say, in one point against House of the Dragon, is I feel like we're very much royal family right now. Like we don't have a lot of the side houses and the side characters. And that's one thing I loved about the original series was like
Absolutely.
we would go from the Starks to the royal family to
Brienne of Tarth to the Hound to all these people, and it was like to Littlefinger to. I mean, there was so many strings and characters, and you're like, oh.
And it's only been a couple episodes, so I think we'll get there. But that's
Couple.
I did
What is that,
notice
4
that
5 episodes in, aren't we?
6.
6.
That's just one thing I noticed.
You're right, because they have so much opportunity to do that. I mean, this is how many years before?
And I feel like Andor is doing that. Like we're getting, again, this is not a spoiler, but we're getting like, we saw this in the trailers. We're getting like the senators that are still on Coruscant. We're getting Imperial officers. We're getting this like corporate security force. We're getting Andor and his friends that just work in a fucking mine and hang their gloves up on the wall every day. Like it's like literally every single level of like the power structure.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the scene when Cassian's a kid and he gets quote unquote rescued by the woman and the guy. When he's bashing all the computer screens and all that and he's going fucking bananas.
Yeah.
That was a Republic ship that looks similar to an Imperial ship because that eventually becomes the...
That's why it's confusing, yeah.
Yeah.
But the guys had the Imperial or the CIS logo.
I wonder if he was just undercover at some point and he was like, you know what, I'm just going to run with this fucking jumpsuit or whatever. Fuck, I don't know. Matt says Andor is Star Wars for grown-ups. Mando is a show for my kids. Yeah, it's not action-packed, so the kids get bored. Yeah, it's finally about characters, and it's not for kids. We're gonna murder people in the streets. Get fucking ready. But to be nice, Obi-Wan did that too. Not Obi-Wan himself, but Vader snapping necks. Maybe that's why I felt like, whoa. I'm surprised we went there because Obi-Wan, what felt like, sure, it was a little more dire and dark, but I didn't think they were going to go there because I felt like it was still borderline kids show, like lightsabers and blasters and stuff.
Vader.
And then Vader walks in and snaps a neck. You're like, oh, Vader, whoa.
When we were having the conversations a couple years ago about like R-rated Star Wars,
yeah.
Now that we see Andor, do you think this has like scratched that itch and like our R-rated Star Wars probably feels out of touch?
I think there's still opportunity for R-rated Star Wars. I don't want it to feel forced. I don't want you to just make a Star Wars to make it gory and yell fuck all the like.
I feel like this is close enough. It's like
ooh, that's
homebody says shit.
I'm gonna jump ship here real quick. There is another random thing that I felt very weird watching House of the Dragon.
Okay.
They threw some fucks, the word fuck, in a couple scenes that I felt, whoa, that felt super modern.
Yeah.
Like it took me out of the one of them was
I don't remember.
One of them was someone was talking to Rhaenyra. Maybe it was Peter Criss or whoever.
Chris Angel.
Chris Angels. Peter Criss is the drummer for Kiss. But yeah, someone was yelling at Rhaenyra, I think, and he's like, I can't fucking do this. And I was like, for whatever reason, that felt really weird, and it felt like a modern way to say something.
I don't remember.
It was super random, but it did take me out of the universe for a half a second, and I had to kind of crawl back in real quick. And it wasn't just me. The wife said the same thing. She was like, was that like out of place? I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't even say it. She brought it up. I was like, I agree.
Well, now when I rewatch it, that's all I'm going to be thinking of.
It was just a oddly placed. Like they took that scene and they were like, you know what, it's fine. We're not going to recut it. Just no one's going to pay attention. And then I'm the one that caught it. I was like,
how about the Scottish officer yelling shit in Andor? Did you catch that?
No, I didn't. First of all, I love the Scottish. He's a badass.
Dude,
that little meatball fuck he is screaming.
Yes, he's
hairy
insane,
meatball.
Dude.
Sideburn bitch. I love him. He's just like, you know what? We'll just walk in and murder everybody. We're fine. Like, look at these guys. We're all wearing uniforms. Everybody's going to listen to us. I loved that they went in and immediately started looking around and like,
shit.
We're fucked.
Yeah.
It's just
a good wake-up call.
It is a great wake-up call. And it's that everybody knows there's tension, and everybody's already prepared for it. So they're just waiting for that powder keg, which, we have a small one that's already exploded on this planet. But we're waiting for that to happen, galaxy-wide,
right.
which we're going to get to, obviously. But, ooh.
All right, predictions. Obviously, we know what happens to Cassian and some of the other fuckers, but this security guard who decides to lead the little campaign, what do you think happens to him by the end of the show?
He becomes an Imperial. He's got the makings of it. That's the clear.
See, I think he becomes a rebel. I think he turns.
You think this is a shock to his system that he's like, oh, I fucked up?
And now that this has happened, he's going to start noticing, little cracks, and the Empire is actually kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
And he's going to turn. He's
on the wrong side.
Rebel Alliance. I think so.
I can see that. Before I forget, because this has popped in my head several times, and I thought it while I was watching it. Luthen is a fucking James Bond having.
He is amazing.
Fucking Batman bullying bitch. Like, he walked in and was like, Cassian Andor, I know a lot about you. There's people here. Click, click, click.
Not
boom.
fucking around, dude.
He's like, before you enter a place, have your fucking exit plan. And he fucking, I was like, well, this guy's a fucking Batman genius.
It's like an old Batman meeting a Robin for the first time before he's Robin.
That's how it feels.
And he's like, listen, dude, I got this whole place, but
I'm really big into young
men.
men. Like, wear some tights. Boom. Let's get the fuck out of here.
You need a colorful outfit and everything. We're going to be partners. You understand, partners?
You understand, partners?
Yeah, he is like a Batman James Bond.
I thought 007 right away because I was like, the dude fucking planted charges on the door that he walked in.
Yeah.
Like, what a fucking badass. But also, I knew exactly what was going to happen when they looked over and they saw the speeder and, the bike and the speeder. And when the speeder came out, and I was like, they fucking rigged that thing and it's going to fucking blow up. And when it did, I was even more happy because I was like, oh my God. They're just sticking it to the man over and over.
It was awesome.
You start trying to push the people around and the people start pushing back and you're like,
yeah, they didn't expect that.
Oh, I love it. And you're right. It might be the crack in the armor that that policeman guy.
I think so.
But I loved his superior though.
Yeah.
I'll just make it look like an accident, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I kind of love that. And then I think he said, I'm going to go meet with the regional governor or something like that. I was like, oh.
Regional governor.
But how tasteful.
Right.
They're there. They're important. They're meeting with them.
Right. Yeah, man.
I love it.
It's wonderful. It's a spectacle to behold.
It's Star Wars, right?
It's incredible.
It's Star Wars. It's
good. I think the part of it too. Sorry, good. You forgot what
it is beautiful that nothing's recognizable. Not a single ship. The speeder or the speeder bike, a little recognizable. I mean, we've seen that, but it's not like, oh,
it's the same one.
Yeah, but it's still like, okay, they just jumped on a speeder bike.
I saw some Y-wing engines on this one ship.
Oh yeah, but
yeah,
like
scrap parts.
Scrap parts. They're living in a fucking junkyard.
Luthen's ship is fucking awesome.
The ships
I don't know
have been
what the hell it is.
Sweet. Man,
it's awesome.
I was even looking hard at the quarry because I saw like the mining equipment. They had big arms with the.
Yes, it reminded me of the beginning of Fallen Order. When Cal Kestis is like in that scrapyard tearing apart like old ships and stuff. That's what I thought of at first. I was
See,
like,
that's the
Cal
nice.
Kestis going to show up in this
That's
fucking
the
thing?
nice because if it is,
It just makes me think of it, you know?
well, it
it's
could
not
be
like he's on screen.
but it could be the exact same fucking model of Digger or whatever you want to call it, and I'd be fine with it because
Yeah.
that's the splash that it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It really doesn't. You don't even have to notice it but like,
Yeah.
that's a nice touch if it is.
Fucking A, dude. Fucking A, man.
That's how you fucking Star Wars right there. You don't Star Wars. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, so the director or showrunner, whatever, not being like a super fan, I think is important. Also, I just think that rolling with a character that we don't know is good.
And we don't need to know anybody else. Like,
'Cause, like-
Luthen is another main character now, and we don't even know him. We're just going to get
within
Mothma.
minutes. I love him.
Yeah.
The Kenobi, again, that's the most recent one, so I just keep going back to it. It's like, as soon as you want to do that, there's so many strings attached. Kenobi's been around for 50 years. We got side stories with him. We got reference books about him. All the fans have this picture in their head about how they like Obi-Wan. I like the prequels. I like the sequels, blah, 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 or the original. There's reference books. Like, they have to like
a
tie
lot of
everything
baggage,
together, and like they're walking on eggshells trying
a
to
lot of
make sure they
baggage.
don't mess something up. Whereas Cassian is like, all you have to do is make sure he does some dark stuff and he ends up on Scarif. Like, that's it. Everything else you're writing from scratch to serve the story and to get the rebellion story in the picture. So I think that's what I want from Star Wars. I hope this is a bridge.
The level of hype I have, it's weird because the characters that are planted that we know what's going to happen, I'm still interested because there's not a lot of screen time with Mon Mothma.
Oh,
And she's so hard tied into like Padme stuff that I'm like, I would love to see that. And then one of the greatest sequel characters of all time is Saw Gerrera. I call him sequel, but whatever. He's
Clone
not.
Wars character.
Yeah, clone. Whatever.
Rebellion. Rebels.
I meant
Rogue
sequel
One.
era, but he's not.
He's
Just
dead.
Disney era.
He's dead.
But it's like, oh my god, I would love to see that.
You're gonna see it.
I know.
He was in the trailer, remember? Yes, all things are good except
He's
for the
in the
drum
trailer.
set. Except for the drum set. That's it, dude. I hope this. I know we already have things slated like Ahsoka and Bad Batch and whatever.
None of that matters right now. It really doesn't.
It doesn't matter in my mind. What I was saying is I know we have those slated, but once those are out of the way, I really want everything. I really want all Star Wars stuff to be
New.
brand new.
New.
This is the bridge. It's going to get. I will say, for the first time in my life as a Star Wars fan, I have not seen a negative thing about the show online. I have not seen a single Andor. Fucking, they tried to throw this ship in there. What a fucking bunch of Disney bitches. I haven't seen a single piece of negative feedback on the show.
I haven't even looked, to be honest, and I won't because I'm sure there's someone. Oh, I don't care. It's like, well, then don't watch. Like,
I didn't see it though with Kenobi. It's right in your face. It's like, yeah, but they didn't do that.
yeah,
This,
but like
nothing.
Like you said, it comes with so much baggage. You want to throw Kenobi and Vader in together again?
Yeah.
Good luck. It's hard. It's sure we do want to see that 15-minute scene where they're battling it out, but the getting there and the after is like
Yeah. Could have left it. Yeah.
like we've been there, we've done that. Like even him dragging Kenobi through the fire, which was like, whoa,
That was awesome though.
I still was like,
No, you weren't. Not in the moment. No, you weren't. Don't lie. You're not. You're not.
but looking back,
No.
no, because it makes too much sense. Not that I didn't like it as I don't know. You're right. The shit just comes with so much baggage with how they've been shoving Star Wars in our face. Now it doesn't. Now it's just
Correct.
like, guess what? Clean slate.
So do new things.
Do new things. Do new things. Add dragons. I want to see a mythosaur flying around. I want to see a fucking
Mythosaur would be good.
manta ray floating through Dantooine. Can we go to Dantooine?
Republic base is on Dantooine.
I would love to see Dantooine. Dude, wouldn't that be a badass little sprinkle if the rebellion was on Dantooine at one point and then left? Mm-hmm. And then that's why Princess Leia says, well, they're on
wasn't
Dantooine.
really lying.
She wasn't. And if the Imperials went there, they would find like old Rebellion facilities and be like cautious and take two more time. Like it adds up, man. It's
I feel like I'm doing the Jack Nicholson. Meme. Like, yes. Hire him. Hire Melton.
Matt says Cassian shooting that dude in the face 10 minutes in. That's a statement. You're right. It says so much.
Backs up against the wall. The opening scene is in a brothel.
He's fine with stealing. He's fine with killing. He's fine with lying. He's a fucking pilot. He can handle a gun. He can do it all. Rebellion, sign him the fuck up. Where's
He's
the
not
paperwork?
force sensitive though.
You're right. Lightsabers? No.
This is not Star Wars.
Does he know R2-D2? No. Fuck,
not
he's
Star Wars.
useless. Let's just kill him off.
Does he know R2-D2?
That's the other small thing is that his droid, I love his fucking droid.
Yes.
Okay, this
Very
is
Wall-E.
another really small sprinkle that it came out of here. It came out of the noggin.
Yes, that brain of yours.
His droid, which I don't know the name of, which I'm fine with.
B2 emo. You hate it now.
Like I am being too emo.
I'm being way too emo.
There was a couple things. This is I'm setting this up like I don't like it, but no, it was just something I noticed. There was a couple things that B2 said, and the way he said it, it really, really reminded me of K2.
Yes.
And I thought, are they gonna try to fucking upload B2
Yes.
into
That's
K2?
That's a theory. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm okay with it.
That's a theory.
Yeah, because there was a couple of accents in some words.
He's like, you got to tell a lie for me. He's like, tell her this and then also that. That's 2 lies.
Yeah.
That's a K2
That's
response.
a K2
for
response,
sure.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, it's possible. We'll see, man. Or maybe he, yeah, I don't know.
But what a great way to string that along, because that was one of the things I loved about Solo, where M3
L3
gets
put into the
uploaded.
Falcon.
Oh my god.
That's one of the coolest small things in Solo.
It's
Yeah.
one of the most badass things I've ever seen. You just took a character and said, nope, now the character's a fucking ship.
The
And you're like,
character's melded
dude,
to this character.
the ship has been a character this whole time? Like,
Yeah.
we know that,
Right.
but also now here's your explanation for it, and you're like,
It was wonderful, dude. I'm gonna have to watch Solo. I got puff.
I do want to watch Solo.
It's wonderful.
The theme of Solo is beautiful. I love the dark, grungy, muddy battlefield stuff. I love the snow-ridden train stuff. I love the fucking floating.
It's a heist movie,
Oh my god.
and Andor is like a spy thriller, political spy thriller
But
movie.
if you notice when you look it up on Disney Plus, it says suspense thriller
Yeah.
or look it up on
Fuck you, IMDb. Fuck you. Action adventure drama.
see
not
on
specific enough.
on Disney Plus. It actually says something different.
It's gonna make me log in, isn't it? Heyo.
Click on that shit.
Science fiction spy espionage.
Espionage. Thank you. And that was when as soon as I saw that, because it flashes up right when you click on an episode, I was like, oh, it's not just Star Wars anymore. It's spy espionage. I love it. I love it.
I didn't even notice how long the episodes were.
Yeah, I have.
Episode 4 is 50 minutes, man.
We're cranking up.
Fuck, dude. It's so good. I don't give a fuck. It's so good. Well, guys, Star Wars is back. Finally.
It's official. It's weird saying that because I think we've got sprinklings. We just talked about Solo. Everybody knows about Rogue One. And this feels like in the past 5 years. Well, when was the last time? When did Solo come out? 4 years ago?
Solo is 18.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years. Not 84, but it's been 4 years.
It's been 84 years.
It seems like a long time because it is.
It ain't.
Well, you throw a lockdown in there and then it feels
It
long.
does, yeah. It does. Whoops. Sorry. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but Andor's really good. You should watch it.
The other thing, right before we leave,
I'm gonna shut this off right now.
I want to thank and show my appreciation that Cassian Andor is not Han Solo light.
Yes.
I'm gonna leave that there because they could have easily tried to do that, and that's not what we want. That's not what we need.
Correct. Yes, Cassian is Cassian.
Cassian's I was gonna overstep my bounds, but
What?
I think Cassian Andor on the surface is a more interesting character. Han Solo, I think I like better because he does more and he's a badass. He's kind of cocky.
You could just get burnt out on Han.
But it's that level of cockiness. I feel like Cassian is like a scared dog, and he's a very talented scared dog, but he's like running.
He's like, I don't want to. It's like I don't want any part of this shit.
But look at that. You're gonna get that. You're gonna get that fucking look out of Han Solo. No, he's gonna talk shit and be sarcastic the whole fucking time. We're never gonna get that. Dude. Never gonna get that. That
No,
looks
that's
like
true.
that looks like Bruce Wayne in the new Batman. Mm-hmm. He looks like, hey, the world's fucked, so I might as well just start killing people.
Exactly. Make some money out of it.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. All right. Well, I gotta go rewatch it now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
I gotta go rewatch the first 4.
do it all.
All right, guys. Well, Star Wars is back in action. I'm fucking jazzed for it. Kathy, if you're watching, do more of this, please.
Yeah.
Cancel everything and like fast track season 2 of Andor.
Yeah.
That's what you should do.
Yeah. When do we? So this is 12 episode season.
Yeah. So we'll be going until Thanksgiving.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, man.
I'm interested to see something else.
I'm interested to see your guys' thoughts on Andor as well.
Send us a drunken email.
Send us an email about it. You can comment on the video. And everyone in the WhatsApp group has been chatting around about it. We got. This is the first time I've had to make a separate spoiler chat, because we had a spoiler chat and like shows would come out infrequently, so we would just change the name of it. But now I have one for House of the Dragon, and I had to make another one for Andor and
Lord of the Rings.
I haven't made one for Lord of the Rings yet, but we might need to.
Yeah.
That's getting. You know what I thought was gonna happen? I thought that like Game of Thrones was gonna get overshadowed by Lord of the Rings, and it's the other way around for me right now. Lord of the Rings has gotten overshadowed by Thrones.
Yeah.
I just have to wait. I can't even watch it until both of these shows are over.
Lord of the Rings.
It's on pause for
Lord
me.
of the Rings just has like a whimsical feel to it, and with Andor and Game of Thrones, they're so heavy
Yeah.
that it's hard to be like, I'm gonna watch this, and
Yeah.
then something whimsical, and you're like, well,
You can't bounce back and forth.
it's hard
no,
to. So
no.
cool.
All right, let us know your thoughts. Watch Andor, fuck around, and
Clap cheeks. What?